Good evening. This 94th meeting of the 72nd term of the Baltimore City Council is now called to order. Members of the council, due to us being in a virtual meeting, I will call on you and then you may speak once you've been recognized. In lieu of an invocation tonight, we will have a moment of silence. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Roll call. The clerk will now call the roll of the members. Mr. Clerk? Looks like the clerk is having some technical difficulties. You guys hold on 1 second. One second, you guys. WebEx actually kicked the clerk out of the WebEx meeting. All right, roll call. Mr. Clerk, go ahead.
President Scott.
Present.
Councilman Cohen.
Present.
McCray.
Present.
Dorsey.
Present.
Henry.
Here.
Pfeiffer.
Present.
Middleton.
Here.
Pinkett.
Here.
Burnett. Councilman Burnett. Councilman Block.
Present. Burnett is here. I don't know if you could. All right.
Councilman Rogers.
Here.
Costello.
Present.
Stokes. Councilman Stokes. Sneed.
I'm here.
Clark.
Oh, here.
Mr. President, we have.
Thank you. We will now proceed with the adoption of the journal.
Mr. President, the journal of the October 19, 2020 proceedings are on the council member's desk.
Without objection, the journal will be adopted. The journal is adopted. Bills signed by the mayor can be found on pages 2 to 8 of the agenda. Executive nominations.
EA 20-0287, Tyler Adamson, Member, Public Safety Advisory Commission, District 14.
This has been assigned to the Executive Appointments Committee.
EA 20-0288, Mona Lisa Diallo, Member, Public Safety Advisory Commission, District 7.
This has been assigned to the Executive Appointments Committee.
EA 20-0289, Dominique Flowers, Member, Public Safety Advisory Commission, District 8.
This has been assigned to the Executive Appointments Committee.
Member, Public Safety, EA 20-0290, Phyllis Gilmore, Member, Public Safety Advisory Commission, District 4.
This has been assigned to the Executive Appointments Committee.
EA 20-0291, Angela Holland, Member, Public Safety Advisory Commission, District 10.
This has been assigned to the Executive Appointments Committee.
EA 20-0292, Derek Johnson, Member, Public Safety Advisory Commission, District 7.
This has been assigned to the Executive Appointments Committee.
EA 20-0293, Tiffany Jones, Member, Public Safety Advisory Commission, District 2.
This has been assigned to the Executive Appointments Committee.
EA 20-0294, Kai Overton, Member, Public Safety Advisory Commission, District 7.
This has been assigned to the Executive Appointments Committee.
EA 20-0295, Kayla Randolph, Member, Public Safety Advisory Commission, District 7.
This has been assigned to the Executive Appointments Committee.
EA 20-0296, Samantha Salesman, Member, Public Safety Advisory Commission, District 5.
This has been assigned to the Executive Appointments Committee.
EA 20-0297, Carlton Smith, Member, Public Safety Advisory Commission, District 12.
This has been assigned to the Executive Appointments Committee. Colleagues, these executive appointments are from a piece of legislation that I introduced in 2017, co-written by Ray Kelly of the Citizens Policing Project, and now the Consent Decree Community Oversight Task Force. This commission was authorized by our counterparts working with Senator Hayes at the state level. I really want to take this opportunity to talk about what the Public Safety Advisory Commission is and the nearly year-long process the Council President's Office undergone to select the 11 people we're advancing today through the process. Its purpose is to create a commission of residents empowered to guide community police interaction and BPD processes. This is not just for the city as a whole, but drilling down into specifics of police interactions each of our police districts with public housing residents, people re-entering our communities from prison, the LGBT community, our Latinx community, and our youth. It's a commission that I'm proud that will get underway as we continue to make progress with our consent decree, but most importantly, the Public Safety Advisory Commission will outlive the consent decree process, ensuring that the residents are the ones guiding long-lasting policy and cultural change in our police department. This group will meet to develop recommendations for community interaction for BPD with a goal of creating consistently positive, respectful actions and interactions between residents and officers. This report will inform BPD strategy and engagement. Per the legislation, the City Council President gets to make the recommendations about who will serve on this commission. We know last November we put out a call for applications. We received nearly 100 of them, brought together a review panel, including Ray Kelly, Dana Vickers Shelley of the ACLU, George Arthur Bunton of the Civilian Review Board, Merrick Moses of the State's Attorney's Office, Daniel Webster of Johns Hopkins, and Eric Mellicon, the Chief of Staff to Police Commissioner Harrison, to review the applications. They made the recommendations, and the 11 names you see on the agenda today, all the people who made it through that process. I want to thank Mayor Young for working with me and our team to formally nominate the inaugural group through the executive appointments process. Each person, should they be confirmed, will serve a 4-year term. Thank you. Let's see. The consent calendar can be found on Section A of the agenda. Committee reports, we will now move to bills on second reader. But before we do that, Chair recognizes Councilman Costello.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move that we read short titles for second and third reader for the duration of the hearing.
Without objection, will be read for the hearing. Short titles will be read for the remainder of the hearing. Equity and Structure Committee.
City Council Bill 19-0353, Charter Amendment, Underground Conduit System, Sale, Transfer, or Franchise Prohibited.
Chair recognizes Councilman Henry.
Thank you, Mr. President. This bill came out of committee on October 30th of this year. The committee approved the bill as favorable, and I move the bill as favorable.
Thank you. All those in favor of approving this bill say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Aye. Aye. Aye.
Aye. Aye.
All opposed say nay. The motion is approved. This bill moves to third reader.
City Council Bill 19-0442, Legislation, Equity Assessment, and Fiscal Note Requirement.
Chair recognizes Councilman Henry.
Thank you, Mr. President. This bill also came out of committee on October 30th. There are amendments that were sent to all council members electronically. I move the committee amendments.
All those in favor of approving the amendment say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Aye.
All opposed say nay. The amendments are approved. Chair recognizes Councilman Henry.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move the bill favorably as amended.
All those in favor of approving this bill say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say no. Motion is approved. This bill moves to third reader.
Thank you.
Thank you. Housing and Urban Affairs Committee.
City Council Bill 19-0447, Urban Renewal, Hamden Business Area Amendment.
Chair recognizes Councilman Bullock.
Thank you, Mr. President. The Housing and Urban Affairs heard 6 bills on October 27th. They're all being reported favorable as amended, and there are amendments in your inboxes, and I move the amendments favorable.
All those in favor of approving the amendment say aye.
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 All opposed say nay. Motion is approved. Amendments are approved. Chair recognizes Councilman Bullock.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move the bill favorable as amended.
All those in favor of approving this bill say aye.
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 All opposed say nay. Motion is approved. This bill moves to third reader. I would also like to note Councilman Stokes has joined.
City Council Bill 20-0490, Urban Renewal Carroll Camp Renewal Area Designation and Urban Renewal Plan.
Chair recognizes Councilman Bullock.
Thank you, Mr. President. There are amendments in your inboxes. I move the amendments favorable.
All those in favor of approving the amendment say aye.
Aye. Aye.
Aye.
All opposed say nay. The amendments are approved. Chair recognizes Councilman Bullock.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move the bill favorable as amended.
All those in favor of approving this bill say aye.
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 All opposed say nay. Motion is approved. This bill moves to third reader.
City Council Bill 20-0553, Urban Renewal, Washington Village Amendment.
Chair recognizes Councilman Bullock.
Thank you, Mr. President. There are amendments in your inboxes. I move the amendments favorable.
All those in favor of approving the amendment say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Aye.
Aye.
All opposed say nay. Motion is approved. Amendments are approved. Chair recognizes Councilman Bullock.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move the bill favorable as amended.
All those in favor of approving this bill say aye.
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 All opposed say nay. Motion is approved. This bill moves to third reader.
City Council Bill 20-0565, Urban Renewal Park Heights Amendment.
Chair recognizes Councilman Bullock.
Thank you, Mr. President. There are amendments in your inboxes, and I move the amendments favorable.
All those in favor of approving the amendment say aye.
Aye. Aye.
All opposed say nay. Motion is approved. Amendments are approved. Chair recognizes Councilman Bullock.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move the bill favorable as amended.
All those in favor of approving this bill say aye.
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 All opposed say nay. Motion is approved. This bill is approved and goes to third reader.
City Council Bill 20-0580, City Streets Closing a portion of South Boston Street extending from South Haven Street.
Chair recognizes Councilman Bullock.
Thank you, Mr. President. There are amendments in your inboxes. I move the amendment favorable.
All those in favor of approving the amendment say aye.
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 All opposed say nay. Motion approved. Amendments is approved. Chair recognizes Councilman Bullock.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move the bill favorable as amended.
All those in favor of approving this bill say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Aye.
All opposed say nay. Motion is approved. Bill is approved. No. Chair recognizes Councilman Costello. Yes.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move that we suspend Rule 12-1-B to advance this bill from second to third reader on the same meeting.
Without objection, rules will be suspended. Oh, actually, roll call. Sorry.
President Scott,
Yes.
Cohen,
Yes.
Gray, Dorsey,
Yes.
Yes.
Lifer,
Yes.
Middleton,
Yes.
Pinkett,
Yes.
Burnett, Bullock,
Yes.
Rossiter,
Yes.
Costello,
Yes.
Stokes,
Yes.
Sneed,
Yes.
Clark.
Yes.
Thank you. The ayes have it. This bill moves to third reader today.
City Council Bill 20-0582, City Streets Closing, portion of Boston Street.
Chair recognizes Councilman Bullock.
Thank you, Mr. President. There are amendments in your inboxes, and I move the amendment favorable.
All those in favor of approving the amendment say aye.
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 Aye. Aye.
All opposed say nay. Motion is approved. Amendments are approved. Chair recognizes Councilman Bullock.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move the bill favorable as amended.
All those in favor of approving this bill say aye.
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 Aye. Aye.
All opposed say nay. Motion approved. This bill moves to third reader. Chair recognizes Costello.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move to suspend Rule 12-1B to advance this bill from second to third reader on the same evening.
Roll call.
President Scott. Cohen.
Yes.
McCray.
Yes.
Dorsey.
Yes.
Henry.
Yes.
Pfeiffer.
Yes.
Middleton.
Yes.
Pinkett.
Yes.
Burnett.
Yes.
Bullock.
Yes.
Reisinger.
Yes.
Costello.
Yes.
Stokes. Sneed.
Yes.
Clark.
Yes.
Thank you. The ayes have it. This bill moves to third reader today. Judiciary Committee.
City Council Bill 20-0628, City Property, naming a pavilion in a nature park in the Joseph H. Rash Playfield to be the BGE Pavilion in the BGE Nature Park.
Chair recognizes Councilman Costello.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move the bill favorably.
All those in favor of approving this bill say aye.
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 All opposed say nay. The motion is approved. The bill moves to third reader.
City Council Bill 20-0, Building, Fire, and Related Codes, Adoption of International Green Construction Code 2018.
Chair recognizes Councilman Costello.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move the bill favorably.
All those in favor of approving this bill say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Aye. Aye.
All opposed say nay. The motion is approved. This bill moves to third reader. Land Use Committee.
City Council Bill 20-0508, rezoning one collective highway.
Chair recognizes Councilman Reisinger.
President, I move the finding of facts.
Without objection, the findings of fact will be adopted. Findings of fact are adopted. Chair recognizes Councilman Reisinger.
Move the bill favorable.
All those in favor of approving this bill say aye.
Aye. Aye.
All opposed say nay. The motion is approved. This bill moves to third reader.
City Council Bill 20-0566, rezoning 3215 West Belvedere Avenue, 3317 through 3323 West Belvedere Avenue, 5101 through 5103 Denmore Avenue, 5100 Denmore Avenue, and Block 4580, Lot 038 through 039 through 055.
Chair recognizes Councilman Reisinger.
Mr. President, I move the finding of facts.
Without objection, the findings of fact will be adopted. The findings of fact are adopted. Chair recognizes Councilman Reisinger.
This bill has amendments. I move the amendments.
All those in favor of approving the amendment say aye.
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 All opposed say nay. Motion approved. The amendments are approved. Chair recognizes Councilman Reisinger.
Mr. President, I move the bill favorable as amended.
All those in favor of approving this bill say aye.
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 All opposed say nay. Motion is approved. This bill moves to third reader.
City Council Bill 20-0567, rezoning 407 Benninghouse Road.
Chair recognizes Councilman Reisinger.
Mr. President, I move the finding of facts.
Without objection, the findings of fact will be adopted. The findings of fact are adopted. Chair recognizes Councilman Reisinger.
Move the bill favorable.
All those in favor of approving this bill say aye.
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 All opposed say nay. Motion approved. Bill moves to third reader.
City Council Bill 20-0568, Plan Unit Development Amendment, Stadium Place.
Chair recognizes Councilman Reisinger.
Mr. President, I move the finding of facts.
Without objection, the findings of fact will be adopted. Findings of fact are adopted. Chair recognizes Councilman Reisinger.
Mr. President, I move the amendments.
All those in favor of approving the amendment say aye.
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 All opposed say nay. Motion approved. Amendments are approved. Chair recognizes Councilman Reisinger.
Mr. President, I move the bill favorable as amended.
All those in favor of approving this bill say aye.
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 All opposed say nay. Motion is approved. This bill moves to third reader.
City Council Bill 20-0595, rezoning 1103 through 1109 North Washington Street.
Chair recognizes Councilman Reisinger.
Mr. President, I move the finding of facts.
Without objection, the findings of fact will be adopted. The findings of fact are adopted. Chair recognizes Councilman Reisinger.
Mr. President, I move the bill favorable.
All those in favor of approving this bill say aye.
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 All opposed say nay. Motion approved. This bill moves to third reader.
City Council Bill 20-0614, rezoning 4015 Foster Avenue, 4000 Hudson Street, and 801 South Haven Street.
Chair recognizes Councilman Reisinger.
Mr. President, I move the bill favorable.
All those in favor of approving this bill say aye.
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 All opposed say nay.
Nay.
Please note,
Councilman Stokes, nay.
please note Councilman Stokes as a nay. This bill moves to third reader.
Thank you, Mr. President.
Public Safety Committee.
Council Bill 19-0428, human trafficking notice requirements, city-owned and occupied buildings.
Chair recognizes Councilman Cypher.
The Public Safety Committee heard two bills on October 20th. We're reporting them favorable with amendments. There are amendments in your inboxes. I move the amendments favorable.
All those in favor of approving the amendment say aye.
Point of order. I think we have to go the bills one at a time.
Yeah, it's only 1428, Bill.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought he said he heard two bills.
Oh, no, yeah, Councilman, this is, we can also go from Council Bill 190428.
But I'm just saying, well, we had to. I'm the one that will do the next
All
one.
right. All those in favor of approving the amendment say aye.
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 All opposed say nay. Amendments are approved. Chair recognizes Councilman Cypher. Councilman, are you there?
Can you hear me?
Councilman? Yeah, we can hear you now, Councilman.
I'd like to move this bill.
All those in favor of approving this bill say aye.
Aye.
Favorable as
Aye.
amended.
Aye.
All opposed say nay. Motion is approved. This bill moves to third reader. Chair recognizes Councilman Cypher. Oh, no, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Councilman. Mr. Clerk, you can continue.
City Council Bill 20-0569, Street Harassment Advisory Commission.
Chair recognizes Councilman Cypher.
Amendments that are going to be introduced on the floor to fill in some gaps in the committee amendments. So I'd like to move those amendments favorable.
Councilman, are you moving, you're moving the committee amendment? We can't hear you, Councilman. Councilman, we're gonna go to your vice chair for a second while you have your technology difficulties. Councilman Burnett, I know you know all there is about this bill. Are you moving the committee amendments first and then floor amendments?
Yes, so I don't have floor amendments. I would defer to the bill sponsor for those. But yes, I can make the motion to move the committee amendment.
Please do, while Councilman Cypher, we work out his technology difficulties.
Okay, so Mr. President, I make a motion to move the committee amendment.
All those in favor of approving the amendment, say aye.
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 All opposed, say nay. The motion is approved. The committee amendments are approved. Councilman Cypher, are you back? He is not. Would the bill sponsor like to speak to the floor amendment? Councilman Cypher? Councilwoman Sneed, do you want to speak to the floor amendment? We're going to come back to this bill, you got, when the council is able to get back to.
It's back.
Oh, yes, we can hear you.
Yes, I'd like to move this bill favorable as amended.
Hey, Councilman, you said there were floor amendments to this bill. We haven't gotten that.
So it's my understanding that the bill sponsor is introducing the
We haven't, we just asked.
floor amendments.
No, Councilman. Councilman Sneed did not introduce floor amendments.
All right, so I'll just move the committee amendments favorable.
Committee amendments are already approved, Mr. Councilman. So do you have the floor amendments, Mr. Councilman?
No, I know floor amendments. If she doesn't have any amendments to introduce, I'm just going off of what was provided to me that she had some floor amendments. But if not, I'd like to just move the bill favorable as amended.
All right. She recognizes Councilman Robinson.
Councilman Sneed, or you want to go forward?
No, we're gonna move it. I asked the councilwoman, I couldn't get it, she didn't chime in, so I'm just gonna make the assumption that she's okay.
Okay, thank you, Mr. President.
Yep. All those in favor of approving this bill, say aye.
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 All opposed, say nay. Motion is approved. This bill needs to third read. Taxation, Finance, and Economic Development Committee.
City Council Bill 20-0581, sale of property, a portion of South Boston Street extending from South Haven Street.
Chair recognizes Vice President Middleton.
Thank you, Mr. President. This bill came out of committee on October 29th, 2020, sponsored the council president on behalf of the administration. The committee approved the bill as favorable. There is a technical floor amendment that was sent to council members electronically. I move the floor amendment.
All in favor of approving the amendment, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed,
Aye.
no. Motion is approved. The amendment is approved. Chair recognizes Council Vice President Middleton.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move the bill favorable as amended.
All those in favor of approving this bill, say aye.
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 All opposed, say nay. Motion is approved. This bill moves to third reader. Chair recognizes Costello.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move to suspend Rule 12.1B in order to move this bill from second and third reader on the same evening.
Roll call.
President Scott,
Yes.
Cohen,
Yes.
McCray,
Yes.
Dorsey,
Yes.
Henry,
Yes.
Schleifer,
Yes.
Middleton,
Yes.
Pinkett,
Yes.
Burnett,
Yes.
Bullock,
Yes.
Reisinger,
Yes.
Costello,
Yes.
Stokes. Councilman Sneed,
Yes.
Clark,
Excuse me. Yes.
The ayes have it, this bill moves to third reader today.
Hello?
Go ahead, Mr. Clerk, you're good to go.
City Council Bill 20-0583, sale of property, variable width portion of Boston Street.
Chair recognizes Council Vice President Middleton.
Thank you, Mr. President. This bill came out of the committee on October 29th, 2020. Sponsor, the council president on behalf of the administration. The committee approved the bill as favorable with amendments. The amendments were sent to council members electronically. I move the committee amendments.
All those in favor of approving the amendment, say aye.
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 Say nay. Motion approved, amendments are approved. Chair recognizes Council Vice President Middleton.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move the bill favorable as amended.
All those in favor of approving this bill, say aye.
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 All opposed, say nay. Motion is approved. Third reader, Chair recognizes Councilman Costello.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move to suspend Rule 12-1B to advance this bill from second and third reader on the same evening.
Roll call.
President Scott,
Yes.
Cohen,
Yes.
Gray, Dorsey,
Yes.
Henry,
Yes.
Schleifer,
Yes.
Middleton,
Yes.
Pinkett,
Yes.
Burnett,
Yes.
Bullock,
Yes.
Reisinger,
Yes.
Costello, Sneed, Clark.
Yes.
Yes.
The ayes have it. This bill moves to third reader today.
City Council Bill 20-0603, Retirement Savings Plan, clarifications.
Chair recognizes Council Vice President Middleton.
Thank you, Mr. President. And this bill came out of the committee on October 29th, 2020. The sponsor is the council president on behalf of the administration. The committee approved the bill as favorable with amendments. The amendments were sent to council members electronically. I move the committee amendments.
All those in favor of approving the amendment, say aye.
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 All opposed, say nay. Amendments are approved. Chair recognizes Council Vice President Middleton.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move the bill favorable as amended.
All those in favor of approving this bill, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say nay. Motion is approved. This bill moves to third reader.
City Council Bill 20-0604, Retirement Systems, minor child clarification.
Chair recognizes Council Vice President Middleton.
Thank you, Mr. President. The last bill. This bill came out of committee on October 29th, 2020 as well. On behalf of the council president, on behalf of the administration. The committee approved the bill as favorable. I move the bill as favorable.
All those in favor of approving the bill, say aye.
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 All opposed, say nay. Motion is approved. This bill moves to third reader. Transportation Committee.
City Council Bill 20-0588, City Officers and Employees Commuting Benefits.
Chair recognizes Councilman Dorsey.
Thank you, Mr. Council President. The Transportation Committee heard this bill on October 28th and voted favorable with amendments. The amendment before the council requires the invocation or the suspension of Rule 11-3. This amendment effectively turns this bill strictly into a study bill for a report to come from DHR and the Finance Department, and that is the reason why 11-3 must be suspended in order to move the amendment. So I move that we suspend Rule 11-3.
Without objection, the rule will be suspended. The rule is suspended. Chair recognizes Councilman Dorsey.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move the amendment favorable.
All those in favor of approving the amendment say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Aye.
All opposed say nay. Amendments are approved. Chair recognizes Councilman Dorsey.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move the bill favorable as amended.
All those in favor of approving this bill say aye.
Aye. Aye.
Aye.
Opposed say nay. Motion is approved. This bill moves to third reader. Third reader requires invocation of Rule 12-1 for same-day advancement to second to third reader.
City Council Bill 20-0580, City Streets Closing, a portion of South Boston Street extended from South Haven Street. President Scott, Cohen, McCray, Dorsey, Henry, Schleifer, Middleton, Pinkett, Burnett, Bullock, Rosinger, Costello, Stokes, Sneed, Clark.
This bill is approved.
City Council Bill 20-0581, Sale of Property, a portion of South Boston Street extending from South Haven Street. President Scott, Cohen, McCray, Dorsey, Henry, Schleifer, Middleton, Pinkett, Burnett, Bullock, Rosinger, Costello, Stokes, Sneed, Clark.
This bill is approved.
City Council Bill 20-0582, City Streets Closing, portion of Boston Street. President Scott, Cohen, McCray, Dorsey, Henry, Schleifer, Middleton, Pinkett, Burnett, Bullock, Rosinger, Costello, Stokes, Sneed, Clark.
This bill is approved.
City Council Bill 20-0583, Sale of Property, Variable Width, portion of Boston Street. President Scott, Cohen, McCray, Dorsey, Henry, Schleifer, Middleton, Pinkett, Burnett, Bullock, Rosinger, Costello, Stokes, Sneed, Clark.
This bill is approved. Third reader for final passage.
City Council Bill 19-0364, Sale of Property, former bed of a variable width alley located between two 10-foot bed alleys bounded by Boone Street, East 22nd Street, Greenmount Avenue, and East 23rd Street. President Scott, Cohen, McCray, Dorsey, Henry, Schleifer, Middleton, Pinkett, Burnett, Bullock, Rosinger, Costello, Stokes, Sneed, Clark.
This bill is approved.
City Council Bill 19-0440, Acquisition of Property, Temporary Construction Easements and Permanent Easements. President Scott, Cohen, McCray, Dorsey, Henry, Schleifer, Middleton, Pinkett, Burnett, Bullock, Rosinger, Costello, Stokes, Sneed, Clark.
This bill is approved.
City Council Bill 20-0591, Zoning, Conditional Use Parking Lots 115 and 118 Mount Clair Street. President Scott, Cohen, McCray, Dorsey, Henry, Schleifer, Middleton, Pinkett, Burnett, Bullock, Rosinger, Costello, Stokes, Sneed, Clark.
This bill
Mr. President, Dorsey to no.
please note Councilman Dorsey as a no.
City Council Bill 20-0605, Minority and Women's Business Utilization Emergencies. President Scott, Cohen, McCray, Dorsey, Henry, Schleifer, Middleton, Pinkett, Burnett, Bullock, Rosinger, Costello, Stokes, Sneed, Clark.
This bill is approved.
City Council Bill 20-0627, Baltimore City Fire Department Reporting Requirements. President Scott, Cohen, McCray, Dorsey, Henry, Schleifer, Middleton, Pinkett, Burnett, Bullock, Rosinger, Costello, Stokes, Sneed, Clark.
This bill is approved.
City Council Bill 20-0629, Prevailing Wage Determination. President Scott, Cohen, McCray, Dorsey, Henry, Schleifer, Middleton, Pinkett, Burnett, Bullock, Rosinger, Costello, Stokes, Sneed, Clark.
This bill is committee announcements. Members, when you hear your committee, Chair recognizes, okay, great. When you hear your committee, please proceed with your announcements. We will start today with the Transportation Committee. Councilman Dorsey?
No announcements, Mr. President.
Thank you. Taxation, Finance, and Economic Development, Council Vice President.
Thank you. Yes, I have 4 announcements. Taxation, Finance, Economic Development Committee will hear Bill number 20-0602, Thursday, November 12th at 10:03 a.m. Virtually. It's the sale of property 4701 Green Spring Avenue, AKA former Dr. Roller Patterson School, number 082. We will also hear bill number 20-0585, Thursday, November 12, 2020 at 10:04 a.m. virtually. And it's the sale of property, Lake Clifton Senior High School, number 40. Taxation, Finance, and Economic Development Committee will hear bill number 20-0586, Thursday, November 12th at 10:05 a.m. virtually, and it's the sale of property, Lake Clifton Gatehouse. Also, the Taxation, Finance, and Economic Development Committee will hear bill number 20-0626, Thursday, November 12th at 10:06 virtually, and it's the Water Accountability and Equity Act modifications. And just making sure I called them all. Yes, I'm finished. Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Vice President. Public Safety Committee.
Mr. President, I'll be making the announcement for Councilman Pfeiffer. On November 17th, 2020 at 4 p.m., the Public Safety Committee will be hosting a virtual committee hearing on Council Bill 20-0612, Ordinance Explosive Material Reporting. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you. Land Use Committee, Councilman Robinson.
Mr. President, the Land Use Committee will hold a hearing on December 2nd at 1:15 p.m. on Bill 20-0594. This is a rezoning at 2426 Pennsylvania Avenue. This hearing is being rescheduled from October 29th. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you. Legislative investigations, Councilman Burnett.
That was actually my only announcement, Mr. President.
Great. Labor Committee, Councilwoman Sneed.
No, nothing for labor.
Judiciary, Costello.
Thank you, Mr. President. The Judiciary Committee will hold a virtual WebEx hearing on Tuesday, November 17th at 10 a.m. This is Council Bill 20-0616, Comptroller, Clerk of the Board of Estimates. Mr. President, I move to suspend Rule 10.2 to announce the hearing.
Without objection, the rules will be suspended. The rules are suspended. Recognized by Councilman Costello.
Thank you, Mr. President. Judiciary Committee will hold a hearing on Tuesday, November 17th at 10:05 a.m. This is a virtual WebEx hearing. This is on Council Bill 20-0633, City Property, naming Bocheck Fieldhouse to be the Rocky Brown Fieldhouse. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you. Nothing for here. All right. Housing and Urban Affairs.
Thank you, Mr. President. The Housing and Urban Affairs Committee will be having a hearing on City Council Bill 200548 on Tuesday, November 24th at 2 p.m. That is in regards to ordinance landmark list, Reed Callaway House. Thank you, Mr. President.
Equity and Structure, Councilman Henry.
Thank you, Mr. President. The Equity and Structure Committee will hear City Council 0218, recognizing systemic racism as a focus on November 20th at 10 a.m. here on WebEx.
Thank you. Education and Youth Committee, Councilman Cohen.
The Education and Youth Committee will hear a hearing on restorative practices on November 12th at 5 p.m. virtually. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you. Councilman Burnett, are you doing executive appointments? Councilman Burnett?
No, I'm not doing executive appointments. I thought you were calling me for health. I did have a health committee. My bad.
Recognizes Council Burnett for the Health Committee. Go ahead, sir.
The Health Committee will be hearing Bill 20-0189R on Tuesday, November 24th, 2020 at 10 a.m. It'll be a virtual meeting, informational hearing on overdose prevention. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you. I know Councilman Stokes had some announcements, but it seems that he is having technical problems. Give me 1 second, you guys. Also, 1 second, everybody.
Mr. President, I just received the sheet if you'd like me to do it.
Yes, sir, Councilman.
Okay. The Executive Appointments Committee will be holding a hearing on Monday, November 9th, 2020 at 10 a.m. to review the nomination for the following Baltimore City Citizens Advisory Commission for Public Safety. And I'll walk through each one. I guess I'm supposed to. We have Tyler Adamson, member District 14, Mona Lisa Diallo, member District 7, Dominic Flowers, member District 8, Phyllis Gilmore, member District 4, Angela Holland, member District 10, Derek Johnson, member District 7, Tiffany Jones, member District 7, Kai Overton, member District 7, Kayla Randolph, member District 7, Samantha Salesman, member District 5, and Carlton Smith, member District 12. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you. Any further committee announcements? All right, regular announcements. I will start by asking the Council Vice President to honor a moment of silence for the now 278 victims of homicide in Baltimore City, all that we've lost to COVID-19 and the continuing overdose epidemic as well. An issue that we cannot forget, even in this, as the weather is changing, we cannot forget that we're still losing too many lives in Baltimore, in particular, the amount of young people that we've been losing in recent weeks is just completely unacceptable. And it's up to everybody in the city, elected official or not, everyone who loves Baltimore, to do more so that we can provide a better opportunities and so that we're not losing lives in Baltimore. Also, I want to remind everyone that today is the last day for early voting, and tomorrow is election day. Please go out, let your voice be heard, go cast your vote no matter who you're voting for. If you still have your mail-in ballot, please drop it in a ballot box at one of our centers across the city tomorrow. Do not put it in the mail. We want your vote to be counted. That in this critical election, that every vote be counted. We just want to make sure that everyone knows that you still have until 8 p.m. tonight and again until 8 p.m. tomorrow. Just make sure that your voice is heard. Anybody else? Councilwoman Clark.
Thank you, Mr. President, members of the council. I know this is an announcement period, but I'd like to announce why I feel today that opportunities are being lost for the health and well-being of the future of the city. It's about Bresco. That tall structure that is the largest air polluter in the entire city of Baltimore and creates helps create Baltimore as having the highest asthma rate in the state of Maryland. The great opportunity lost is that it looks as if Baltimore City and Baltimore County, without public hearings on the issues, have both decided at the same time that they, by working together to bring trash to Bresco, are going to keep Bresco alive much, much longer than we had hoped in this era of zero waste and in this era of global warming. In effect, when you put Baltimore City and Baltimore County together, they bring in 90% of the trash to Bresco that keeps Bresco in business. But both of these jurisdictions, us and them, have the same deadline on the current contract with Bresco, which is New Year's Eve 2021. That means we all have a chance of a year plus to get together with what we've already planned and done to usher in the era of zero waste that we've been talking about constantly in this council and in this city since 2017. Instead, to Wednesday morning, Baltimore City goes to the Board of Estimates to accept a contract that would mean we have Bresco in the city with its smokestacks for 10 more years. Out in Baltimore County, they don't have Bresco, but they bring to Bresco, and they've decided they're going to help support that business for the next, I think, 5 or 6 years. Meanwhile, shame on all of us, as far as I'm concerned. We have worked hard in Baltimore City to develop. The advocates have hired their own experts to help develop a plan. That expert worked with the cities. The city, by the way, has indicated that there's no opposition to the contracts that are coming forward this week. Tonight, even while we're speaking probably, Baltimore County Council is considering a 5 or 6 year contract with Bresco. So I'm upset. I'm angry. We've worked hard, and it's a long 10 years. But most of all, I'm a mother of 4. I'm a grandmother of 10 wonderful, bright people. And I don't look forward now to the day when they say to me, or they say to themselves if I'm gone, what did Bubby ever do to help us when the time was right to save us from global warming by making changes at the local subdivision level? And there will be no answer to that question, because now is the time for us, and we're letting it get past us. Shame on us all. Thank you, Mr. President, for the time.
Thank you, Councilwoman. Councilman Costello? Councilman Pinkett? All right. Council Vice President?
Mr. President, I'm sorry.
Councilman Dorsey, you had the video off. Councilman Dorsey?
Sorry. Thank you, Mr. President. This Saturday at 1 o'clock will be the 3rd Artist District Community Presentations. This is my 3rd year running this program of providing grants to artists who live in the 3rd City Council District. In the last 2 years, we have provided 4 $3,000 grants. This year, because of so many people being impacted by COVID-19 in so many different ways, we decided to spread that money out a little bit more. So we have 6 $2,000 grants that we awarded. And this Saturday, we will hear online presentations from those 6 grant recipients. There'll be brief presentations. The whole thing is probably going to take about an hour. And you'll hear, what it means to be an artist and live in Baltimore, and, what even a small grant program like this means in terms of opportunity to live and be an artist. You can attend this virtual presentation via Facebook Live. There is a link, bit.ly/Artist District 2020. And I would love for all to be there. I think it's a wonderful group of recipients this year. visual artists, literary artists, musicians. I'm really thrilled about this program and this group. That's all from me. Except to say thank you, Mr. Council President, for your support for this program as a contributor to make it possible. Really appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for doing it. Council Vice President Middleton.
Thank you, Mr. President. I also just want to say that Councilwoman Mary Pat Clark has given us some very good points for us to think about, especially the health and well-being of our young people and seniors and communities that have suffered from cancer and all kinds of diseases from problems at places like Gresco. So we really need to think hard and long for our next steps. The next meeting of the City Council will be held on Monday, November 16th, 2020 at 5 p.m. virtually. And may we have a moment of silence for the families of now 278 victims of homicide. Also, the families that continue to suffer from the opioid overdose epidemic and our continued COVID-19 pandemic. So it's important for us to mask up, wash our hands, social distance, and vote.
Thank you. There being no further business, this concludes the 94th meeting of the 72nd term of the Baltimore City Council.